Congratulations, Ryan. Welcome to homeownership. My mother-in-law, Diane, raised her champagne glass at my brother-in-law's housewarming party, celebrating the gorgeous two-story home in Riverside Heights that he'd just bought through hard work and saving. I stood there holding a glass of water, because we couldn't afford wine, while Ryan bragged to everyone about putting down $180,000 cash for the $650,000 house. That number sounded too familiar. It was exactly the amount my husband and I had been saving for 8 years to buy our first home. The same money that Diane had told us last week was invested in safe business opportunities for the family. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Let me tell you how I went from a naive young bride who trusted my mother-in-law to manage our family finances, to a woman who had to fight to recover our entire life savings that had been stolen in the most sophisticated way possible. My name is Rebecca Anderson, 32 years old, and this story begins with me growing up in a traditional Lutheran family in Minnesota, where trusting others was considered the highest virtue. My parents, John and Susan Anderson, ran a family farm growing corn and soybeans outside Rochester. From a young age, they taught me that people are fundamentally good, and family always has your best interests at heart. In Midwest culture, suspecting others' motives, especially family members, was considered rude and ungrateful. Rebecca, my mother often said when I was 12, "The Lord teaches us to trust in others' goodness. When you assume the worst in people, you become what you fear." My childhood unfolded in the warmth of church community, potluck dinners, and barn raisings where everyone always helped each other. When Mr. Thompson's barn burned down, the entire town contributed money and labor to rebuild it. When Mrs. Martinez got sick, the church ladies organized meal trains for 3 months. This created in me a deep-seated belief that people, especially family, always act with pure intentions. Red flags in relationships were often dismissed by me as misunderstandings or they mean well. This was further reinforced when I went to college on a full scholarship at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, majoring in finance. Professors and classmates were all impressed with my work ethic and integrity. Rebecca has a rare combination of intelligence and trustworthiness, Professor Williams wrote in a recommendation letter. She sees the best in everyone and brings out the best in her team. After graduation, I moved to Chicago to work as a financial analyst at Northwestern Mutual, starting salary $68,000. This was my first time living away from the family farm and small-town values. But I carried those lessons about trust and family loyalty wherever I went. I met Marcus Williams, 30 years old, a project manager at a construction company at a company holiday party in 2015. Marcus grew up in the Chicago suburbs in a typical middle-class family. His father, Robert, was a retired electrician. His mother, Diane Williams, 55, worked as a financial consultant for small businesses. Marcus had a younger brother, Ryan, 25, who was finding himself after college. Ryan had studied art history at DePaul University, but 3 years after graduation still hadn't found a stable career. He worked part-time at coffee shops, art galleries, and occasionally did freelance graphic design. Ryan has an artistic soul, Diane explained when I first met the family. Not everyone is cut out for the corporate world like Marcus. Ryan needs time to develop his creative potential. I admired Diane's devotion to both sons. Coming from a family where everyone was expected to work hard and contribute, I found it refreshing to have a mother-in-law who thought different people had different timelines for success. "Rebecca, dear," Diane said after our first family dinner, "you're exactly what Marcus needs, a practical, responsible woman with good financial sense, and you understand family values." Marcus proposed to me at Christmas 2016 with a beautiful and classic emerald-cut diamond ring. Our wedding took place summer 2017 at my hometown church in Minnesota, with 200 guests from both families. Total cost, $42,000, split between both sets of parents. After our honeymoon in Costa Rica, we settled into a 2-bedroom apartment in Lincoln Park, Chicago. Combined income, $165,000. Marcus making $97,000, me making $68,000. Our goal, save to buy our first home in 5 to 7 years. That's when Diane made the proposal that would change our lives. "Kids," she said during Sunday dinner at her house, "I want to help you build wealth properly. With my experience managing finances for small businesses, I can set up an investment strategy to help you reach your home ownership goal much faster. Marcus was excited. That sounds amazing, Mom. What do you have in mind? Instead of letting money sit in a low-yield savings account, I'll create a diversified investment portfolio. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, even some alternative investments. With proper management, your down payment fund could grow 12 to 15% annually instead of a measly 1% in savings. I was intrigued, but cautious. Diane, that sounds wonderful, but wouldn't we need a financial advisor license to do that legally? Oh, sweetie, Diane laughed warmly. I have all the necessary credentials. I've been managing investment portfolios for 15 years. I just prefer working with family and close friends rather than large corporate clients. Marcus nodded enthusiastically. Mom has been managing my retirement account since I started working. She's increased the value by 40% in 5 years. Really? I was impressed. That's incredible returns. That's what happens when you have someone who truly cares about your success. Diane smiled. Corporate financial advisors take 2 to 3% fees and don't give personal attention. Family looks out for family. The proposal was enticing. We'd transfer $5,000 monthly into an investment account managed by Diane. With her projected 12% annual return, we could have $200,000, $250,000 in 5 years, instead of the typical 8-10 years with traditional savings. The only catch, Diane continued, is that the money needs to stay invested continuously. No withdrawals for 5 years minimum to allow compound growth to work its magic. Premature withdrawals would disrupt the strategy and cost you thousands in lost gains. Marcus was already convinced. Makes perfect sense. Mom, when can we start? Looking at Marcus's trust in his mother and thinking about my own upbringing, where family always supported each other, I agreed. Let's do it. If you're enjoying this story so far, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to see more content like this. Life changed dramatically immediately. With $5,000 monthly going to investments, we were left with only $2,100 to cover all other expenses. Our rent alone was $1,600, leaving $500 for groceries, utilities, transportation, entertainment, and emergency expenses. We became masters of extreme frugality. Dinner dates were replaced with cooking at home. Movie theaters were replaced with Netflix. Shopping was replaced with thrift stores and clearance racks. New clothes were only bought when absolutely necessary. This is temporary sacrifice, Marcus reassured me when I expressed frustration about not being able to afford basic pleasures. Mom says by year 3, our returns will start compounding dramatically. Meanwhile, Diane sent quarterly reports showing steady growth. Year 1. Account grew from $60,000 to $71,000. Year 2. From $131,000 to $149,000. Year 3. From $209,000 to $238,000. You're doing fantastic, Diane beamed during family dinners. The market has been volatile, but I've managed to keep your portfolio in positive territory. Year 4 should see acceleration of growth. But I started noticing discrepancies. Diane's lifestyle seemed increasingly lavish. She upgraded from a Honda Accord to a Lexus RX 350. She took monthly trips to visit her sister in Florida. She remodeled her kitchen with granite countertops and professional-grade appliances. Diane seems to be doing very well, I commented to Marcus after a family dinner where she showed off expensive new jewelry. Mom has been smart with her own investments, Marcus replied. Plus, she's getting more high-paying clients for her consulting business. Simultaneously, Ryan's life was improving dramatically. After years of struggling artist lifestyle, he suddenly had money for professional photography equipment, advertising for his freelance business, and a deposit for a nice studio apartment in trendy Wicker Park. Ryan has really matured, Diane explained when I asked about his sudden financial stability. He's been saving from his coffee shop job, and some freelance work has picked up. But the math didn't add up. Coffee shop wages in Chicago averaged $1,215 per hour. Even working full-time, Ryan couldn't afford $1,800 monthly rent plus expensive equipment. Something felt off. Most troubling, whenever I asked for detailed account statements, Diane deflected with technical explanations. Sweetie, investment portfolios are very complex. You wouldn't understand derivatives and hedge fund positions. Just trust the numbers I provide in quarterly reports. But I work in finance, I protested. I understand investment terminology. Corporate finance is different from private wealth management, Diane dismissed. You deal with company budgets. I deal with sophisticated investment vehicles. Red flags started multiplying, but my Midwest upbringing kept silencing my doubts. Family doesn't lie about money. Mothers-in-law don't steal from their children. People wouldn't manipulate those they claim to love. The breaking point came in December 2023, approaching our 5-year mark. Marcus and I began seriously planning to withdraw our down payment money for house hunting. According to Diane's reports, we had $287,000, more than enough to afford homes in the $650,000, $700,000 range. I'm ready to start looking at houses, I told Marcus over dinner. Can you ask your mom to begin liquidating portions of the portfolio? Absolutely, this is exciting, finally going to be homeowners. But when Marcus approached Diane about withdrawal, her response was puzzling. Oh, children, she sighed dramatically. I have some concerning news about market conditions. There's been significant volatility lately. If you liquidate now, you'll lose substantial gains. I recommend waiting until spring when the market traditionally recovers. But Mom, Marcus was confused. Your last report showed we were up 8% this quarter. Yes, but that was before the recent downturn. Trust me, kids. I've seen this pattern before. Premature withdrawal now could cost you $40,000, $50,000 in lost value. I felt frustrated, but deferred to her supposed expertise. We waited until spring 2024. Spring came with the same story. Market's still unstable. Wait until summer. Summer. Election year uncertainty affecting portfolios. Better to wait until after November. Meanwhile, Ryan announced a major life change. He had purchased a beautiful house in Riverside Heights for $650,000. How did Ryan afford a house? I asked Marcus directly. What's his down payment source? He's been doing really well with his photography business, Marcus answered, but his voice lacked conviction. At Ryan's housewarming party, the truth started emerging. During casual conversation with neighbors, I learned Ryan had paid $180,000 cash as a down payment. $180,000. The exact amount we'd been saving annually. Ryan, I approached him privately. Congratulations on the house. Can I ask where you got the funds for such a large down payment? Ryan looked uncomfortable. Well, I've been saving, and Mom helped with a family loan. Family loan? From where? I probably shouldn't discuss family financial arrangements. That evening, I confronted Marcus. Your brother paid $180,000 cash for a house down payment. Where did that money come from? Maybe Mom loaned it from her own savings? Marcus, your mother has been managing our $287,000 investment account. Now Ryan has $180,000 cash, and she won't let us access our money because of market conditions. Don't you see the connection? Rebecca, you're being paranoid. Mom wouldn't steal from us to give to Ryan. Then why can't we see actual account statements? Why won't she provide account numbers or brokerage information? Marcus became defensive. Because you don't trust her. She's feeling attacked and judged. I want proof, Marcus. Real proof. Not quarterly summaries. Real account statements from actual brokerage firms. You're destroying family relationships with your suspicions. But the seed of doubt was planted. That night, Marcus finally asked his mother for detailed account information. Diane's response, explosive anger. How dare you question my integrity? After everything I've done to help you build wealth, this is Rebecca's influence, isn't it? She's turning you against your own mother. Realizing Marcus was too emotionally compromised to pursue the truth, I decided to investigate independently. Using my finance background and professional connections, I hired forensic accountant Jennifer Rodriguez, specializing in family financial fraud. Your case has classic red flags, Jennifer explained during our first meeting. Investment manager refusing detailed statements, lifestyle inflation inconsistent with declared income, family members suddenly acquiring expensive assets. We need a comprehensive audit. Jennifer's investigation process was thorough. She requested all bank records showing transfers to Diane property records for Ryan's house purchase, business license verification for Diane's consulting company, cross-reference of Diane's reported income with lifestyle expenses, cost of investigation, $8,000 from my personal emergency fund, money I'd been secretly saving from freelance financial consulting work. While the investigation proceeded, home life deteriorated. Marcus accused me of destroying family unity and being vindictive against his mother. He began spending more time at Diane's house, leaving me alone many evenings. "You've changed, Rebecca," he said during one argument. "You used to trust people. Now you see conspiracy everywhere." "Marcus, I'm just asking for basic transparency about our own money. That's not conspiracy thinking. Mom has given us nearly $300,000 in investment returns, and you repay her by hiring investigators? That's betrayal. If there's really $300,000, then showing proof should be easy. You're hurting my mother. She spent 5 years of her life helping us, and this is how you thank her?" Marcus, listen to yourself. Do you see the contradiction? Ryan suddenly has $180,000 cash, exactly what we save annually, and we can't withdraw a single penny because of market instability. Don't you find that strange? Marcus was silent for a moment, and I saw in his eyes the struggle between loyalty to his mother and the clear logic of the numbers. Maybe Mom borrowed money from our account to help Ryan, and we'll pay it back later? Without telling us? Marcus, what do you call that if not stealing? Don't use that word, Marcus exploded. That's my mother, not some thief. Then prove me wrong. Call your mom right now. Ask her to send us screenshots of the investment account, current balance, bank name, anything. Marcus picked up his phone, fingers trembling on the screen, then put it down. I can't. That would show I don't trust her. Marcus, do you hear what you just said? You're afraid to ask for proof about our own money because it would hurt the feelings of your mom. That's not love. That's manipulation. Marcus sat down in a chair, head in his hands. You don't understand. My family has never been like this. We've always trusted each other. And that's exactly what your mother is exploiting, Marcus. She knows you'll never doubt her. She knows you'll defend her even when the evidence is right in front of you. The following days, Marcus became distant and silent. He spent more time at the office or at his mother's house, avoiding difficult conversations about money. I felt like I was living with a stranger. But the seed of doubt had been planted. That night, Marcus finally called his mother. Mom, I heard his voice from the next room. I need to see detailed reports about our investment account. Rebecca is worried and I want to reassure her. A long pause. Then I heard Diane's voice through the speakerphone, loud and angry. How dare you doubt your mother after everything I've done to help you build wealth? This is Rebecca's influence, isn't it? She's turning you against your own mother. Mom, You just need what? You need to learn to trust your mother. You need to tell your wife to stop being paranoid. I've sacrificed my whole life for you children. The line went dead. Marcus came into the living room, his face pale. She was angry, he said weakly. Marcus, that wasn't anger. That was panic. People who have something to hide react like that. He sat down next to me, finally admitting, I think you might be right. Jennifer's investigation continued while Marcus and I tried to repair our cracking marriage. He began questioning things he had previously accepted blindly. Why could his mother afford a new Lexus? Why did Ryan suddenly have money to open a studio? Why did Diane always avoid being specific about investments? I feel like such a fool, Marcus confessed one night. How could I be so blind? You're not a fool, I said, taking his hand. You trusted your mother. That's normal. She exploited that trust. When Jennifer called with the final results, we sat together listening to the report. Marcus turned pale hearing about the $293,000 embezzled, about there being no real investment account, about all the lies over 5 years. My mother stole from us, he whispered. She looked straight into my eyes and lied. Marcus, now we know the truth. The question is, what are we going to do? He looked at me with determination I'd never seen. We're going to get our money back, all of it. The family meeting at Diane's house took place in thick tension. When I spread the evidence across the coffee table, the air in the room seemed to stop flowing. These records show everything, Diane, I said calmly. $180,000 transferred directly from your personal account to Ryan. No investment account exists. It was all just fake numbers. Ryan looked at the papers, his face pale. Mom, you said that money came from your savings. Ryan! Diane screamed. Marcus stood up, his voice trembling. Mom, 5 years. 5 years we lived like poor students so we could invest in our future. And you took it all to buy Ryan a house? I did it because I love you children, Diane exploded. Ryan needed help. You're young, you can earn money again. That wasn't your decision to make, Marcus shouted, raising his voice to his mother for the first time in his life. That was our money. That was our future. Diane sobbed. I just wanted to help the family. I thought this was the best thing. By lying? By stealing? Marcus asked, tears flowing. You taught me about honesty, about family. Was it all just empty words? I put my hand on Marcus's shoulder. Diane, we're calling the police tomorrow morning. You can make this easier by cooperating, or we'll let the law handle it. You can't do this to your mother, Diane pleaded. Marcus looked straight into his mother's eyes. You did this to us first. The legal process moved quickly once the evidence was presented. Judge Patricia Martinez listened with a stern expression as Jennifer presented the entire fraud scheme. Ms. Williams, the judge said, you systematically exploited your son and daughter-in-law's trust. This isn't just poor judgment, this is premeditated crime. In my victim impact statement, I stood up with a steady voice. Your Honor, Diane Williams didn't just steal our money. She stole our trust in family. She made me doubt myself for 2 years, made me feel paranoid and ungrateful when I simply asked for truth. She taught us that family love could be used as a weapon to cover up crimes. But most importantly, she showed us that we're stronger than she thought. We're not silent victims, and we won't let anyone, even family, take away what we've built. I want to send a message to everyone in similar situations. When someone controls your money, they're controlling your future. Never let that happen, for any reason. Sentence, 2 years in prison, 5 years probation, full restitution, and lifetime ban from financial activities. Ryan came to us after the hearing. I'm selling the house immediately. I'm sorry. I never knew. Marcus hugged his brother. You were a victim too, Ryan, but now we have to do what's right. 2 years later, we're living in the beautiful 4-bedroom house in Oak Park, the house we'd dreamed of for 7 years. The recovered $276,000 wasn't just numbers on paper, but a symbol of perseverance and justice. Marcus has grown tremendously through this crisis. I learned the difference between loving and enabling, he said. Loving Mom doesn't mean staying silent when she does wrong. We now manage our finances with complete transparency. All accounts are in both names. All major decisions are discussed. We have a professional financial advisor with full licensing and verifiable references. Diane was released early for good behavior, but the relationship can never recover. Marcus occasionally calls to check on her, but trust is forever broken. Ryan learned valuable lessons and is rebuilding his life from zero. He works hard in a small rented studio, refusing any financial help from family. I now work as an independent financial advisor, specializing in helping young couples avoid similar traps. My story has been shared in many seminars about family financial safety. Whenever anyone asks about the most important lesson, I always say, financial transparency isn't lack of trust. It's the foundation of real trust. If someone refuses to show you where your money is and what it's doing, they're not trustworthy. Recently, I received a message from a young woman in Texas. Rebecca, I'm in a situation like yours. My mother-in-law has been managing our money for 3 years, but always refuses to show details. What should I do? I replied immediately, ask for detailed reports today. If she refuses or gets angry, that's your answer. Trust your gut. Thank you for watching this story about the journey from a trusting wife to a strong woman who knows how to protect her future. If you're in a situation where someone is helping manage your finances, but always avoids questions, that's when you need to act. If you were me, would you have confronted directly from the beginning or investigated quietly like I did? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to not miss other stories about women standing up to protect their rights. Remember, real love never asks you to sacrifice your right to know about your own money. Real family will welcome your questions, not avoid them. And the most important thing I learned, never let anyone, even the closest family, make you a stranger to your own assets. Your future is too important to entrust to anyone else. I'm Rebecca Anderson, and this is a reminder that sometimes protecting yourself means disappointing people you love. But your financial freedom is worth more than anyone's approval. Financial independence isn't just about having money. It's about controlling your own money, making your own decisions, and building your own future without interference from people who claim to know what's best for you while serving their own interests.